Christianity has been in Ethiopia since before the country was even named Ethiopia. Thanks to an unforeseen shipwreck of a Christian philosopher, Meropius, on the island of what is now Ethiopia, Christianity was brought to this nation. His two wars were the major proponents of spreading the gospel, Ethiopius and Pharmacius. Because of them and their influence in parallel to their burning for the gospel, God's word was spread around to the nation. Christianity has very deep roots in Ethiopia, and based off of research of when the religion first reached Ethiopia, as well as my own personal experiences living there, you can see how deep-rooted Christianity really is. When Meropius died during the shipwreck, his two nephews were taken in by King Ella Amida and his kingdom. Ethiopius and Pharmacius became close with the king until he died a few years later. However, the relationship between them allowed for them to be important court officials after his death. Pharmacius used his influence and his high position that he attained to help spread Christianity to this pagan nation formerly known as Axum. However, due to business and the kingdom, the two were restricted in their desire to spread this knowledge because after King Amida died, it took some years for his son, soon to be King Azana, to mature enough to be able to take over the kingdom. While in power for this period of time, Pharmacius felt God calling him to do his work, so he began to look for other Christians and encouraged them to build places for where they could worship and talk about God. He himself attracted others with his high authority, as well as his supply of needs given to others, such as buildings and whatever other necessities that were asked for. It wasn't until King Azana headed the kingdom of Axum that Pharmacius and Ethiopius were free to do whatever their hearts really desired. Pharmacius and Ethiopius left the kingdom of Axum and traveled through Egypt by way of the Nile. When they reached Egypt, Pharmacius contacted Bishop Athenius of Alexandria and begged him to send missionaries back to Axum, since the people there had already proved ready to receive the gospel. He agreed and appointed Pharmacius to the task, which needed someone fluent in the language as well as the customs of Axum. Then Pharmacius was named the first bishop of the Ethiopian church, and this was a big deal because at the time it was the president that the leader of the Ethiopian church was chosen by the head of the Egyptian church. Until the middle of the 20th century, this went on. So ever since the first church was established, Pharmacius was known as, in the common language, Abuna Salama, which meant Bishop of Peace. Thanks to their burning desires for God, their mission was successful, and with the support of King Azana, Ethiopia became a Christian nation. From my experience living in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for 2 years of my life, I saw with my own eyes how much Ethiopians take their religion seriously every day. In some respects, they have to because of how poor a country it is. Some days all they have is God, and that's enough to get them by. Ethiopia was filled with churches. However, the past few decades, the churches have become more so of a Jewish practice. For example, they circumcise every male, which is a part of their tradition. Despite this, Ethiopia is still full of many devout Christians who love God and want to share His love with everybody. The only problem there is not having enough resources in order to spread more of the gospel. As I said, they are very limited in what they have, and it makes it tough to share Christianity to those who have no idea who God even is. There was this one woman I met one day walking down the street who she didn't know English, and I only knew a little bit of Amharic, which is the common language there. But what I got from her was that she was trying to start a new church because of some sort of corruption that she felt in other churches there. But she couldn't because she didn't have any money or any resources, any Bibles, let alone translated ones to share with other people. I mean, I had sympathy for her, but my heart was never in it because at the time I wasn't necessarily a Christian myself. But she stuck with me, and I have no idea where she went or what she did, but it stayed in my mind that she wanted to please God so much that it broke her heart that she couldn't. And that's the kind of emotion all throughout Ethiopia. So the main idea is that Christianity has deep roots in Ethiopia, the 4th century to be exact. And thanks to a shipwreck, Pharmacius and Ethiopius came to this land Ethiopia, at the time named Axum, and through their desire spread the gospel and transformed a pagan nation into a Christian one. Knowing how deep-rooted Christianity really is, the love of God is still abrupt there and visible for everybody to see. Despite the poor circumstances that many of the Ethiopians are in, they still have a desire to praise, to worship, and to teach for the love of God. Now tell me, where did all of that go here in this nation that was founded on biblical principles? We seem to be getting farther and farther away from that burning desire. And it's something that we need to get back so that we as Christians can give back. Thank you.